To help you prepare for Friday's class, I'll create a small program that converts Fahrenheit temperatures to Celsius temperatures. So I'm in the Linux system that you can find in the undergraduate labs. And I'm going to use Emacs as an editor. And I'm going to call the file temp.java. So I have Emacs open now. And since I put it in a file called temp, I'm going to have to create that as a class as well. So public class temp, opening curly, closing curly. And then the codes that I want to run must be placed in a method called public static voids main string args. Again, closing brackets. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to ask the user to enter degrees Fahrenheit. So system.out.print, that will allow me to prompt because it will just print something to the console without putting a new line at it. So it will wait at the end of the line that I print here. So enter degrees Fahrenheit. On space. And that is the end of this line. Now one thing that I can do is I can do a quick check to make sure that this works. So to make sure that the program is correct, I first compile it by using the javac commands, and I pass it the file temp.java, and no errors, so it is correct. And I could run it by typing temp java temp, and it says enter degrees Fahrenheit, and then the program is done. So now what I want to do is I want to take that Fahrenheit, I want to wait for the user to enter degrees Fahrenheit, and for that I need a scanner which I need to import. So I'm going to import java.util.scanner. Scanner is actually a class that I'm importing right now. So I need to create a scanner, and I'm going to call it the keyboard. Note that you can scan other things than the keyboard, but right now I just want to create a scanner, a new one, that uses the keyboard, and the keyboard can be found at system.in. So I want to get my number. I'm going to say that it's an integer, and this here is temp in Fahrenheit, and this is keyboard, and what I want is to get an integer. Next int, next int. So that will just read and wait until the user has entered an integer. Alright, let's test and make sure that I haven't made any mistakes at this point. So first I have to compile again to show the changes, and then I can run the file. Let's enter degrees Fahrenheit 32, and that is the end of the program. Alright, well I can do a quick test to make sure that everything went correctly. So the first thing that I can do is I can do a system.out.println, and let's say temp in Fahrenheit, just as a quick test that this is indeed correct. Compile, run, enter 32, and I get 32 echoed back at me. Alright, continue on. I want to do a conversion, and I'm going to store this in an integer. So temp in Celsius. I need to do a conversion, and this is a formula that you can look up. So I have to take the temperature in Fahrenheit, deduct 32 times 5 divided by 9. It gives me the answer. And then I want to print the degrees in Celsius. So I can do that. Instead of Fahrenheit, I'm now printing the conversion. And compile that. I made a mistake. Temp in Celsius. Because I spelled it with a C up there, so I misspelled my variable name. Compile it again. No more errors. So I'll enter 32 and I get 0 back. Alright, let's make this message a little bit more user-friendly. So I'm going to create a formatted string to print. So I'm going to do a printf. And in quotation, I want to format a string. And I'm going to say percentage D Fahrenheit is percentage D Celsius. I don't know how to spell this anymore. So percentage D Fahrenheit is percentage D Celsius. Percentage D is a placeholder for an integer, and once the string is closed, I have to give variables or literals that are integers. So the first one was supposed to be Fahrenheit, so temp in Fahrenheit, then temp in Celsius, and then it should print that and basically insert temp in Fahrenheit in the first one, and this temp in Celsius in the second placeholder. Alright, let's save this and compile it, no mistakes, and so I can run it, and I'm entering 32 degrees Celsius. Now one thing, so it certainly gave me 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 32 Fahrenheit is 0 Celsius, but then, you know, I get this ugly prompt here, so it would be really nice to put a new line behind it. There's a couple ways that I can do that. I could use system.out.println and not give it any arguments, or I can just put the escape sequence here of \n, that means end of line. Compile this and run this, and now the program looks much prettier. So this here is an example that shows you how to create a basic I/O program that does a little bit of arithmetic operations.